Today we have Mr. Rabbi Yonah Bookstein as a guest in our studio. He is a rabbi in Los Angeles at the University of Southern California and expert in Jewish and non-Jewish relations. Hello, welcome to Azerbaijan in our studio.
Thank you very much.
We want to ask you some questions about your impression. We know that this is your first visit to Azerbaijan. Recently you participated in one conference which is dedicated to the anniversary of Heydar Aliyev. Well, I wanted to ask, what attracted you most in this conference? Why did you decide to participate in it?
Well, I have always been interested in how Jewish communities in different parts of the world live. And I've had the opportunity to visit Jewish communities all over the world. And I'd never been invited to Azerbaijan. When asked to come to Azerbaijan, I immediately said yes, especially because the theme of the conference is something which means very much to me, which is very close to my heart, which is multiculturalism, which is the idea that people from different cultures and backgrounds can live in harmony. So it was an easy decision to come to Baku and to participate in the conference.
Oh. By the way, you spoke about this Jewish concept of loving neighbor. Could you please give some examples from your life, religion, maybe some customs?
Sure. The Torah, the Jewish holy book, describes how, as Jews, we are supposed to relate to our non-Jewish neighbors. And there are several main concepts. One of them is called love your neighbor as yourself. So, for example, if your neighbor has a loss, somebody passes away or dies, we should go and mourn with them and to console them. Let's say you have a city where there are poor people who are Jewish and non-Jewish. So the Jewish community should collect funds to support Jews and non-Jews alike in the city. And I know that from what I've seen here, and I know we'll speak about Cuba in a moment, these are things that are being practiced. I'd also like to say about love your neighbor, which is that this doesn't mean you agree with everything your neighbor says or thinks, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're the same person. It's very easy to love somebody who's just like you. The challenge and the goal is to love people who are different than you, people who might speak a different language or have different traditions. That is the beauty of what the Torah is trying to teach us, to love people even though you don't agree with them or you're different than them.
Interesting. I think our religions have a lot in common. By the way, I know that yesterday you visited Cuba.
Yes.
And you saw this lifestyle of Azeri Jewish people.
Yes.
So, were you impressed?
Yes, yes. It was a beautiful trip to Cuba, to the Jewish village of the mountain Jewish community there. I had a chance to see the synagogues and to visit a school and to meet with people there, and it was very inspiring. And it was so wonderful to see how they live there and have lived there for so many centuries.
Oh, interesting. But if you compare these lifestyles of Azeri Jewish people and American,
it's very different in major respect. Is that the Jewish community in America is very much mixed in. The majority of Jews are very much mixed in with the rest of the population. There are certain areas in the United States that have very large concentrations of Jewish people, like you have in Cuba, right? A Jewish village, yes?
Yeah.
So you could maybe try to compare those things, and there are some similarities. One of the things which I loved about visiting the village was you see Jewish stars and people who are Jewish all over, and people are very proud of their tradition and very proud of their heritage. And that is alike in America. That is very similar to America. People are proud and they're able to express that without any fear.
As an Azeri citizen, I'm very happy to hear these words from a foreigner. By the way, as you know, multiculturalism is our state policy. We are a very young country. So do you see any achievements in this field of Azerbaijan? What can you say about this?
Absolutely. You know, as I spoke at the conference, young states have choices to make when they start. many decide to create their identity based on a uniform nationalism which represses people from different backgrounds. Azerbaijan is the opposite. Azerbaijan wants to celebrate that which is different amongst the different peoples. This will be a great benefit and success for the people of Azerbaijan and help this country very much. And I see the dedication. For example, I went to the Jewish school here yesterday, and it's a beautiful building, and it is full of children. And this is the ideal, is that you can have a Jewish minority living amongst the population, being able to send children to a Jewish school, being able to practice their religion freely. So Azerbaijan is doing the right thing. It is helping the community. It has donated land to make the synagogues and the schools possible. And this is all very positive. So again, I'm new here.
Yeah,
but from what
I've
from what I've seen, this is the right direction for the country to be taking from my perspective.
And now I want to give you one very general question.
Please.
About your impressions. Like
Yes.
not as a scientist, not as a
Okay.
professor, but as a person who first time visits to this country.
I have not only first visit to Azerbaijan, but first visit to the Caucasus, to this whole region. So it's very exciting for me to see a fascinating ancient culture like this one. And the society's in a very dynamic period. Things are changing so quickly. You know, now you're hosting the European Games, and you're doing many things to try to connect yourself with the rest of the world through culture and sports. And this is very admirable, and I think that the country will be very successful with this. You know, what we saw, the juxtaposition, right? You have the old Baku, which is, you know, ancient, and you have the new Baku growing up from it. And this is a beautiful contrast, and they should be always careful to preserve the ancient as well as to celebrate the modern and the new.
Very interesting. I'm so proud to hear these words. What about Azeri people?
Yes.
Azerbaijani nation?
Well, I've been welcomed very much. I think the Azerbaijanis are famous for their hospitality.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I've been given presents and tea and food, and you know, people have treated me very, very warmly, and this is beautiful. I look forward to an opportunity to come back to Baku at some point in the future to spend more time, to explore, to visit with the Jewish community, to visit with other communities. I think that Azerbaijan has such a bright future with their emphasis on tolerance and multicultural attitudes, and this is the way of the world, right? This is the way the world is going. The world will therefore respect Azerbaijan for this.
Thank you very much for coming here to Azerbaijan,
Of course.
for visiting our country. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and to discuss this, and I look forward to further discussions in the future.
Thank you very much.